Hello, I'm Susan Gorin, Mayor of Santa Rosa, and I want to thank you for taking time today to help us in prioritizing city services for the 2009 to 2010 budget. You've probably read that our city is facing a financial crisis that's forcing a $20 million reduction to our general fund. The council is already looking at $10 million in reductions, but the next $10 million will be even tougher. The council and city staff can't make these decisions alone, and we need your input because we've already made the cuts with the least impact on Santa Rosa residents. A city staff person is joining your group today to assist in this process and answer questions. Our staff has the resources to assist you in determining service levels. The information we gather from you today will help us with our determinations during the next round of reductions. These are very difficult decisions. So on behalf of the entire council, I want to thank you for your thoughtful consideration and dialogue around this extremely important issue.
Hello, my name is Michael Frank, and I'm the Administrative Services Director and Assistant City Manager for the City of Santa Rosa. When you hear about a budget deficit, generally what we're talking about, whether pretty much any city or the state, we're talking about the general fund. The general fund is the discretionary fund of the city. The city's overall annual budget for Santa Rosa is $460 million. The general fund budget, however, is only about 30% of that, or $140 million. So let me show you that on this chart. You see the general fund at the top, which makes up about 30% of our budget. Then you see we've got a redevelopment agency, a housing authority, various other funds, and then you see the enterprise funds. Primarily that's made up of our utilities funds, water, wastewater, our transit enterprise fund, and our municipal golf course. And where does the general fund spend its money? And so I'm going to show you a chart that shows what services the general fund pays for. What you see is police and fire make up the bulk of our budget, the general fund budget, at 64%. Those are the resources or the contribution spent by the general fund for those services. Public Works makes up 10%. That's things like our street maintenance and various infrastructure maintenance. Recreation and Parks makes up 9%. And the remainder is primarily administration. If you look at that public safety section, in that fire wedge, the city has 11 fire stations and also clearly police services throughout the community. The next question becomes, where does the general fund get its money? So it's the revenue side of the equation. The general fund primarily gets its money from sales and property tax. And you see there, sales tax makes up 24% of the revenue of the general fund, property tax 18%, and then various other fees and taxes. You also have various charges for services, so that when you take a recreation class, for instance, or if you pull a development permit, you pay various fees. Those fees go into the general fund to pay for those particular services. Our general fund revenues pretty much fell off a cliff and declined at a rate never seen in the history of our city. Many of us have heard about economic issues in the news. So we have a housing crisis, a credit crisis, a recession, lowest consumer confidence ever, and a decline in Santa Rosa median home value prices from $600,000 to half that, a little over $300,000. All of these factors combined have hit just where the city's general fund gets its revenues. And what you see here is that sales tax and property-related fees and taxes make up almost 2/3 of the revenue in our general fund. So let's start with sales tax. If we just look at sales tax, we've had 9 consecutive quarters of sales tax decline. That is the most in the city's history. 9 consecutive quarters of decline. The national and global, unfortunately, global recession as well at this point, as well as the low consumer confidence, has just pummeled our sales tax. And you've heard that with regard to the auto industry and the problems they're seeing. Well, new car sales make up a portion of our sales tax, and that's just one example where our sales tax is truly being reduced. Now if we move to the property tax side and property-related fees and taxes, they make up 38% of our revenues. So it includes property tax, and for those who don't know, property tax is based on a home's assessed valuation. So when I talked about the median home prices coming down, that directly affects the amount of property tax we receive as a city. Development has come to a virtual standstill. And that's not just happening in Santa Rosa, it's happening throughout the Bay Area and across the country. And so those fees have dropped by over half just in the last couple years. So the problem facing us as a city and as an organization, and personally as a budget staff, trying to provide accurate information to policymakers and decision makers, is we don't know where the bottom is. In other words, we're seeing things with regard to our property taxes, our sales taxes, and development that we have never seen in our city's history.
The Council looks forward to hearing the results from your community conversations, and we would welcome any additional comments from you over the next few months. I'm confident that we all will work together to find solutions to the challenges facing our community. Thank you.